fucking Montrose. Hey everybody, it's your boy Montel. What's going on? How's everybody doing? Hopefully you guys are having a fantastic day, week, month, year, millennium. Hopefully you guys are staying safe. Hopefully you're watching these, you're covering this, you're staying this far away, and you're looking out for each other. Please do that. Continue to do that. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much to all my new subscribers. You guys have been showing me mad love, and I appreciate it. Oh my gosh, I appreciate it so much, and it continues to motivate me to continue to make more content for you guys. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. That way you know when I create something different, something new, you guys will be the first ones to know it. Hit that notification bell so that way you will get that ring-a-ding-ding when you know it's already out, so you can go to it and check it out. And of course, like my videos. Please. Oh, please. Yes. Thank you so much, you guys, for this. I really appreciate it. Please don't forget to share. Please share. I hope that there is something in my library that I've created over the years that you can pass on to your friends and family, put a smile on their face, maybe even make them think about something, or make them go back and watch something that I've reviewed and show passionate about. That's what it's all about. Create and share. Pay it forward. I believe in that. But tonight, oh my God, yo, I'm telling you, every time I think I get more invested, I swear there's another piece of my emotional landscape that just gets scratched at and clawed at and everything. So I'm going to review tonight episode 4 of Lovecraft Country, A History of Violence. My gosh, I'm here to tell you, if you're not watching this by now, you are missing out on something. It continues to tap on every emotional button that you have. And oh my gosh, I'm going to give some spoilers away. So if you haven't seen episode 4, stop this video, go watch it yourself, come back, and let's compare notes. Let's see what we can come up with. And I'm here to tell you, oh my gosh, I literally screamed by the end of this episode. Alright, so let's go into it. So the episode opens up as we see Montrose, and he is drunk and he is prone. You can hear different sounds coming from the man. Is a tortured soul. But we don't know what he's gone through. We don't know what he's endured. Only thing we can tell is that he's still grieving the loss of his brother George, who seemed to have been the counterweight that he needed in his life. And of course he's gone, and now he's got to move forward, but he's still tortured. And you see in his hands that he is holding a copy of the bylaws of the ancient order of the Ancient Dawn. And it goes down this particular passage, and it escapes me right now what the passage is, but that passage is going to play a key role later in the show. So he takes the bylaws and he burns them. And he says something so poignant that just made me stop and go, wow. He looked down and he said, "Smells like Tulsa." And we all know that refers back to the massacre in Tulsa, Black Wall Street in 1921. And if you're not sure what that is, please go look it up. It is a brutal piece of Black American history that to this day still rings so much importance based on what was happening there. And go check it out. It will definitely make you open your eyes if you haven't even thought about what the significance is. We find out that Letty gets a visit from Christina. And of course, Christina tells Letty what happened at the end of episode 3 about Tick going to the realtist and telling to stay away and tries to kill her. But of course, you know, Christina's not going to say anything because now she's trying to ruffle the feathers of the Sons of Adam branch in Chicago, because she is determined to get these pages, and she's determined to carry on her own agenda. And we see, and the show goes on, that William is alive and he is playing his role as her henchman, as her bodyguard, and everything else. But he plays another key role in this later as well. So we see that Letty confronts Tick in the library, and of course you could tell there's tension there, and it's really big because Letty feels like she's being left out, not realizing. And this is where you see Tick start to take on this role of, I'm going to take the burden on this. I'm going to protect everybody. And that's going to have a problem because Letty does not want people protecting her. She wants to help make this thing go away. So he tells her everything that she needs to know about what's going on. And we find out that the vault of Titus Braithwaite is located in Boston, and the museum at Boston. So they come up with the plan that Montrose and Tick and Letty are going to go to Boston, but how are they going to get there? Of course, they have to go to Hippolyta, and Dee tags along. And of course, one of the other guys from the town, his name escapes me, but he's not significant at all, or is he? And of course, we find out during the course of this that, of course, yes, Montrose is gay, but that's never explored upon too much. That's explored upon later, and as you can, and even in the later in the museum, and he is talking to Tick, and Tick is like, look, I'm not a sissy. I don't care what my father is. I'm not that. And you can see him just poking and prodding and pushing, almost like he wants him to confront him, but Tick is not focused on him. He is focused on solving this, getting these pages, and getting these people out of their lives. So they make the road trip to Boston, and during this whole time you can just look at Hippolyta, and she's got so many questions, and she's not getting answers to these questions. And you know, she's fed up. She's lost her husband. Her brother-in-law is back, but he's being an ass, and he's not helping, and he's wrapped up in still being just so enigmatic, and it's driving her crazy. So they get to the museum, and of course Hippolyta and Dee are enjoying it for what it is, the visit. And you know, you could just see the bond between mother and daughter, and I love it, especially when they're in the planetarium. If you haven't, again, watch this episode if you haven't seen it. And we find out that Montrose has made a deal with the guard to let them into the museum after hours. So now we go into some Indiana Jones National Treasure type shit. So it goes into that. So after hours, sun goes down, moon comes up, they get into it. And there was a couple of things along the path that made me go, what the holy hell? So we get into the museum, and now they go to where the statue of Titus Braithwaite is. And now they are trying to find out how they can get into this vault. And as you look in the dome, you can see the moon coming out. And Montrose looks up and he tells everybody, turn off the flashlights. You know, he's got that rabbly word, turn off your damn flashlight. So everybody turns off the flashlights, or just trying to cover the light, cover up the lights of the flashlights. And you see the moon shine through on the statue. The light goes to a map, and it shines right up on the compass on the map. Bounces back on the statue, and you see a particular part of the statue that's lit up. Letty moves it, pushes it, and you hear a click, and the front plate of the statue turns into a door. So they open this, and now they are going into, as Tick quotes it later, this is some journey to the center of the earth type shit. And this is where I start loving it, because I'm a fan of Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom and Raiders of the Lost Ark and all type of archaeological discovery adventures like that, because there's so much history in that. And if you notice that particular scene pays homage to the Staff of Ra scene from Raiders of the Lost Ark. And I saw that, I said, oh my gosh, I'm having a flashback. Yo, that was amazing. And I just came me more into it. So they climb, there's a rope that goes down inside. So they climb down a rope, and they look and they see different entrances leading down into different parts of the catacombs. And you know, Tick is on this, and he says, throw down the map and everything. So you know, Letty she gets down in there, and she's boom, and she climbs down the rope, and here comes Montrose just making a big old scene of it. I was like, you know, at this point I start really getting irritated with him. It's something about, and we already know there's something about him that doesn't jive, but I'm just curious to see where this is gonna go. And they discover that they find the right path, and they go down into the path, and they've been walking for a while, and they get to the end of the path, and all they see is this huge expanse. Just, it's like one side of a mountain to another side of a mountain, and you see this long plank. I said, how many movies have I seen that has this? I've seen anime that are like this, and I'm going, okay, so there's only one thing you can do. You've got to walk the plank. The plank couldn't have been no more than maybe 9 inches wide, 9 inches to a foot. There was not a lot of room, and there was nothing to hold on to, so you had to use your balance. So who did they send across first? And this is where I just started asking all kinds of stupid ass questions. Why was Letty the first one to come across? Don't give me that BS because she's lighter. And no, come on. You want to save this and everything, and you want this to be done, but the one person you send across first is Letty. Why you send Montrose's monkey ass across? Why didn't you go, Tick? I mean, come on. Oh my gosh, I lost my shit every time. So Letty's going across, and you could just see her, and you feel her emotion. Oh my gosh, Journey Smollett, her acting chops are so prime. You cannot help but feel whatever Letty is feeling, whether it's angry, if it's sad, if it's frustrated, if it's happy, you feel that. And if this woman doesn't get an award for her performance, she has been freaking cheated. That's all I gotta say. But it still is exciting and is gripping. So you see her go across, you see her traveling along the plank, and of course she's scared and she's frightened, and all of a sudden you hear a sound, and I'm going, what is that? But she is too far out of their vision, and they're going, what's going on over there? What's going on over there? Something flew across my face, and find out that it was a pendulum. It was a freaking pendulum. And I'm thinking,
where did they hang this thing from? How is it swinging? Who did all this? And we knew the vault was booby-trapped, but damn, y'all, come on. Are you serious?
So she gets to that point, and then of course, when she gets scared, she screams. Here comes Tick. He's coming in there too, and he finally gets to her. She is down on the plank. She hasn't fallen over, thank God. And they stand up, and you hear it, and all of a sudden you see something goes right across their face. It goes back and forth at a rhythm. It's a pendulum. So now they gotta time it. Letty goes first, and then Tick goes first. And when we see Tick get past it, that's when we look back, and the pan goes back to Montrose, and he looks down and he sees the plank starting to disintegrate. Oh my gosh. So what happens? Now Tick has got to go back, and he's got to coax Montrose into jumping across. And this is where another reason why I get upset with Montrose. Dude, come on. Use the balls that you've been given. Quit acting scared. Now I feel like Tick has got to babysit 2 people, even though he really only has to babysit 1, because Lady does not want to be treated like she is a child. She's a grown-ass woman, and she'll tell you that. So he finally coaxes his little goofball to jump over onto the plank, and here he goes. Jesse ain't got shit on me. He says that later. Jesse Owens. I'm like, okay, just fine. So we get over there, and they get past it. They get past the pendulum, and we get to the door, and they're in a hurry because this plank is starting to disintegrate slowly. And they're like, okay, we got to find out the combination, because the door there are bricks and pieces in the door that you can push in, sort of like buttons, and they have to open them in a certain order. And this is where Montrose remembers the passage from the bylaws. Every person in there, Adam, Eve, monsters, God, Adam, and they're pushing them, and as this plank is cranking down, the door finally opens, and they jump in, and they are saved. They have gotten in there. And of course, Tick asks Montrose, how did you know about that? And that's when Montrose reveals the truth, that he had the bylaws that was given to him by George. And he says that was George's dying wish to destroy the bylaws. And I don't know how much I believe of that, because we don't know what his dying wish was. We have no clue. We have no idea. Again, another suspect element of Montrose. And I'm already suspicious of this cat anyway. So We move and they're going through and they're noticing that the water level is down there, but the water level is starting to increase. And come to find out, the sun sets, the moon rises, high tide. So now we have a problem. So now they've got to find this vault before they drown, because the water level is rising constantly. And we see tension amongst them, and of course Tick is so focused on trying to find this and save everybody, he is disregarding both Montrose and Letty. And Letty gets pissed off at her, so she's like, you know what? Screw it. I don't need you. I want to just do this and get it over with. And that where you start seeing a sense of being made to feel inadequate, and you want to feel important, especially if something on grand on this. And that's what Montrose says. My grandfather always said, you better have a love song in your head, because by the time it's over, all the thing is left is the loving. That's what the argument comes from. It's the loving. And Tick remembers that. So they get to the vault. They get to the entrance, and they notice there's an arm sticking outside, and the water is kind of up to here, except Montrose is kind of up to here because he's short. So they see that there's an arm in there, but there's a reason why that arm is in there. So Tick thinks quick, and he takes the ring. He still has the ring that was given to him at the ceremony back in episode 2. And he sticks his arm in. Well, he pulls the other arm out. He sticks his arm in, and he feels something. And of course, he starts bleeding. Everybody's like, oh, and Tick is like, hold on, look up. And you look up, you see these windows. He has the bloodline in him. That's why their blood has to be taken, because that blood is the key to open the vault. So he is bled out. Well, he bleeds. It gets into it, and you hear a click, and look above, and you see these trapdoors open, and a rope ladder falls. They climb the rope ladder, and they go into this chamber. And they see in this chamber, it's old, but you could just see it's regaled with all types of treasures, and it looks like a table was set with dead bodies there. There are corpses there, and they're looking around, and they look, and they see the rolled bundle of the pages on a desk just in front. So they go to the desk, and they reach for the rolls, and then you see the corpse behind the desk start to move, and it starts to reanimate. And we look up, and there's this beautiful woman, and she's speaking a language that no one understands. It's ancient Arawak from the Guyanese tribes down in Guyana. And only Tick understands what she's saying. So he's translating, and come to find out that her name is Yahima. And Yahima was found by Titus, and she was the one that he used to translate the pages of the Book of Adam. And of course, when she saw what it was all about, and she refused to translate no more of it, he now used her family and said, if you finish, then you can be reunited with with her family. Only to find out that he had killed the family. And after she was done, he put her in the vault along with her dead family and sealed her in there, and she died with her dead family in there. I was like, you are a bastard. Okay, and this is where you start seeing so much more of the racism. It's not just in the it wasn't just in America. Just white folk wanted to get whatever they wanted by any means necessary. They didn't give a damn who they stepped on, who they subjugated. And you see that the theme is it's worldwide. You get what you want. You want what you want. As a white person, you want to just subjugate whomever, because everybody else they're less than you. They're beneath you. And we see this. So Tix asks her, can you please help us? And she says in such a way, I don't want to help you. I'm sorry. I don't want to help you. I've seen what it's done. I've seen what it could do. I don't want to help you. It's not in you. This is not for you. So, of course, she won't help, but Montrose is determined. So he reaches for the scroll, he reaches for the pages, pulls them, and then we start seeing there was a window behind the desk. And that's when we discover that this room is inside of a body of water, a huge body of water. And the window behind it starts cracking, and you start seeing it start to flood, and they get the hell out of there. So it's Yahima, Tick, Letty, and Montrose, and they get out of there. And this place is rapidly flooding. Now, what I didn't tell you before And I'm sure you'll discover as they were going through the catacombs, they see an elevator. Where did the elevator lead to? The elevator was the same one from Letty's freaking house. I don't even understand it either. I was just like, how do we get an elevator in the middle of this? And the elevator leads up into Letty's house. So now they are racing to get, and they're swimming for their lives. They're getting to the elevator. They almost lost the pages, but they get to the elevator, and the elevator takes them up, and they are back in Chicago from Boston.
I don't know how the hell that happened. Yo, I'm telling you, there are so many mini explosions going on in my head at the time.
Now, while all this is going on, there are different mini stories. We talk about how Ruby, Letty's sister, is determined to work at the department store, but we find out as she goes in, she's about to take her resume, that they hired a color girl. So now she's despondent and she's frustrated. It's like, this was what I wanted. She goes back to one of the bars. She starts singing, and of course, they don't appreciate what she's doing because she's a talented black woman. Of course, after a while, black folk tend to just be in their own world, and when you get that way and you get down, it's like, what, if I'm feeling crappy, then I'm gonna make you feel like crap. So she gets frustrated, she gets off the guitar, she goes to the bar, and we see William come in, and William goes over, he starts talking to Ruby, and of course they've been drinking and they're talking, and of course you already know she's like, well, it ain't gonna happen, white boy. Oh boy, did that mind get changed. And then they go at it hot and heavy. Okay, we get our second sexual scene of the night and our first interracial sexual scene of the night of the series. I'm sorry, that was 1, 2. That's actually the fourth. I had to remember certain things. So sorry, that was the fourth one. But I didn't expect Ruby and William to get into it. But then again, you're in the bar and you drink, as one thing leads to another. And William is telling her before this happens that I can make your wish come true. Of course, she doesn't believe it. She's skeptical. But we've seen what William has been capable of being a part of that house. So we will see in the next episode. And then, of course, we move on. We start seeing Christina. And she is determined to make her place known and make her presence felt as part of the family. But the sons of Adam in Chicago are like, why the hell are you here? You have no part in this, and blah, blah, blah. But this is where you start seeing the feminism and the sexism and the faux masculinity start to take over. And they're thinking they can bully her because they're men. Oh no, this chick is determined to get her agenda across. And she does whatever she needs to do. And she's got William there. And of course, William, she uses him and she beats the hell out of the guys that are following her because they're going to try to harass her. She's got a spell of protection on her because if you notice in the end of episode 3, Tick was going to shoot her, but he couldn't because of the spell that's on her for protection. She can't be harmed. And just a glancing moment, I'm sitting there thinking at one point, there was one scene where we see Christina drive up into a house. She gets out of the car. She goes inside. We don't hear any conversation, but we see William come out. I'm sitting there thinking, is Christina William? That was a little too fast. I've seen scenes like that before, and it's like that there's more to this than meets the eye, because I also noticed during the scenes that when you see Christina, you never see William, but when you see William, you never see Christina. Y'all simmer over that a little bit, because my pot is already bubbling. So we go and we also see that Hippolyta finds out that they made it back to Chicago. So she's driving back and she's already irritated. She's already got unanswered questions about her life, and they somehow get back to Chicago without telling her and Dee, and they're on the way back. But you know what? That's what she notices, that Dee has the atlas in her lap, and she says, where'd you get that from? It was in the glove compartment. So Hippolyta she's determined to get answers, and she looks down and she sees Artem, and that's when she says, you know what, I'm gonna find my own fucking answers. So she turns Woody around, and her and Dee are heading towards Lovecraft Country, and to get the answers that she's seeking about her husband and what the hell is going on. So that's going to be another fracture of the storyline as well that I'm really curious to see what's going on. So we go right back to Letty's house, and we see that, unfortunately, now during the course of them going into the elevator, we see that Titus has put a failsafe in place for Yakima, because she opens her mouth and this siren type scream comes out. We're talking Black Canary level siren scream, and it's loud and it's pitting, it's driving him crazy, and Tick had to knock her out just so it would stop. And come to find out that there was a failsafe, that if she ever left that vault, her voice would disappear and would be replaced by a siren scream. So now she's a siren. She can't talk. And they get her back, and you can tell she's safe and she's well. And I'm thinking this is great, because now that they got her, they can teach her English and she can help them navigate these pages, if anything else. And you know, Tick is confident, and Letty is, and of course, whatever tension was going on between Tick and Letty after they get in that elevator, Tick grabs her and kisses her, so all is well, and they laugh, and it seems like everything's gonna be happily ever after. And you see Montrose give acknowledgement to Tick about him being a badass and doing it and everything, and they go to bed, and you see Montrose walk into the room where Yakima is, or Yakima, excuse me. He leans down in her ear and says, "I'm sorry."
And he slits her fucking throat!
Are you kidding me? I already did not like this cat from the beginning, but he does this shit. Why would you do this? Why would you kill a link that could get this whole thing solved? Why would you do that? I was so pissed off when the credits rolled. I said, fucking Montrose, you gotta be kidding me. Good. Oh my gosh. But at the same time, I'm excited. I want to know where this goes. I want to find out why he did what he did. I want to see Tick beat his ass. I want to see Letty beat his ass. I want confrontation. I want to know what's going to happen between William and Ruby. What is Hippolyta and Dee going to discover? What else is on Christina's agenda with the Sons of Adam? What else are we going to discover? If you are not invested into this show, you are losing out. Lovecraft Country is turning into a series that I want to see unravel. I am beyond excited. I am emotionally invested, and I'm going to be looking forward to episode 5 to see what else happens. So if you're not watching this, you need to watch Lovecraft Country. If you haven't seen episodes 1 through 3, I implore upon you, please go watch it. Please go watch it. I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed. You will become invested. Everybody who was skeptical and didn't think the show was going to be worth of something, their whole mindset has changed. And this episode now makes me even more invested, so I want to see what's going to happen with Ruby and Hippolyta and Dee and Tick and Montrose and Letty. All these questions, answers, and more questions, okay? I love this. I love this show. I'm looking forward to seeing it. It comes on Sundays, 9 p.m. HBO Max. If you got Hulu, get the attachment for HBO Max onto your Hulu so you can catch it. If you have HBO and you have friends that don't have HBO, invite your friends over to watch it. And I'm telling you, it's amazing. My best friend, she introduced it to her friend and he loves it. So now everybody is loving it, and there's so much to talk about. Oh my gosh. Please enjoy this show. It is groundbreaking in so many ways. I love the acting and the story and the excitement and the tensions and the constant cliffhangers that are there. Oh my gosh, I'm exhausted just talking about it, and I want to talk about it some more, okay? Woo! Goodness! Okay, thank you so much for joining me, guys. I hope you enjoyed my review of Lovecraft Country episode 4. I'm going to be doing this all the time. I'm enjoying this. If you haven't already, please subscribe, notification, like, and share. And let's continue on this journey, on this beautiful, beautiful Lovecraftian journey. And thank you so much for supporting my channel. Please, thank you so much for supporting this channel, for supporting my my podcast, Angie and I, with Blerdicorn Speaks. We already did our review on it on the podcast, and I'm going to be talking to some other friends about it, and I'm trying to draw more people into this. You got to watch this. You have to. And as always, as I ask you beautiful, sexy people to do for me, whoo, stay nerdy, stay geeky, please stay sexy, and please stay safe. And I'll be looking forward to hearing from y'all and seeing y'all again soon, okay? You take care. Bye.